Hello and welcome to the final video of what I am entitling my three-part video series of a series I am entitling Apparently Even My Mistakes Were Correct. So, mistake number 3 goes without saying, and I've said this in a prior video. I accepted a teaching job that moved me about 45 minutes away from where I was living in Aix-en-Provence. That was mistake number 3. However, it's not really a mistake because it got me here. So, by mistake, and I've detailed this in a prior video, but the reason I didn't get into this, the whole thing, okay, before I even got to the school, the whole thing smelled funny. We'll just put it that way. The whole thing smelled funny. So, I interviewed for this company back in spring, in April. So I was slotted and retained for the upcoming academic year, starting in September 2024. No, September 2023. Sorry, September 2023. So at this time, during the spring, I was May, June, I was looking for an apartment, and that was a whole nother beast in Aix-en-Provence, very, very difficult. So I was looking on for an apartment based off the salary expectations and schedule expectations and even location that I was slotted for with this particular company. So with that being said, it could have been anywhere from Aix to Marseille, okay? That's about an hour's difference. Ended up in Bandol in another direction. So it did not smell correct. I was slated, retained. I proceeded to form my budget as well as my location specifications while I was apartment hunting based off this potential offer. I would say around sometime in mid-summer, okay, I still had not heard from these people. Mid-July, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I don't want to seem overly demanding. So mid-July, I reached out to the recruiter and sent an email saying, basically, hi, I'm here. Are there any updates? Do you need anything from me? Did not hear from this person for 2 weeks. Okay, did not hear from this person. Now, in August, everything in France shuts down. People go on vacation, government buildings, any kind of businesses shut down. There are some exceptions like restaurants and things, but I digress. So did not hear from this person for about 2, maybe 3 weeks. Meanwhile, I'm still going through the whole apartment drama. And this person, again, sent me an email. Now, I state, when I was informed that I would be retained for the school year, I received a phone call, okay, because it's very important. Now, when I reached out, I didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. This person has the nerve to send me an email saying, we don't have anything for you. You've been retained and you're still in our talent bank, but we don't have a school for you. 2 days before vacation starts in France, 2 days before everything shuts down. So that was one very, very alarming thing to happen, okay? You're saying this 2 days before you go on vacation where you're out of touch, and you send me an email. You don't even have the nerve to call me and give me the respect of a conversation after I have been organizing my life around this opportunity. So there was that. Then I would say about the last week of vacation, right before school opened, or maybe even the last couple of days of August. Again, this time I get a phone call from the exact same person, not just the department, not just the company, but the exact same person saying, okay, we have something and it starts in 2 weeks. Can you do it? I'm like, okay, I need a little bit more information, but so he called me. When he needed me, he called me. When he wants to blow me off, he sends me an email. So I said, okay, we went forward. Doing all the things. My director, the person who was assigned to be my director, picked me up a week later. We went out to the school, met with the school. That was a whole nother thing, right before the school opened. About 2 days after meeting with the school officials, about 2 days after driving out there, mind you, I am still working on my relocation, which I have to fund, okay? And this is after I had just found an apartment in Aix-en-Provence. It was shared living, but you get my drift. Shared living, but I had just settled in, and now I have to reallocate all of my resources, all of my time to start looking again in an area that has no public transportation. I cannot visit, yada, yada, yada. So about 2 days after coming out here to meet with the school officials, I get another email, not a phone call, but an email saying, "Oh, actually, we're not going to continue with you with this school because the timing, they're putting a lot of pressure on us, and it's just not going to. We're going to go with someone else." After I've already invested all this time, already invested all this energy, whatever. But at this point, I was just grateful for the relief. I said, "Oh, whatever." So the person who is assigned to be my director, I reached out to him, assuming this person already knew what was happening. I reached out to him and said, "Oh, it's lovely meeting you. So great meeting you. I want to get these materials back to you." And he clearly had no idea that I was told I would not be selected for this school. So he was surprised, but I did not feel that that was my place to inform him because clearly someone had told me but didn't tell him, whatever. So red flag number 2, the communication within the organization was just way, way off, way unprofessional, way off. Everything about it the mode of communication was horrible. So that was red flag number 2. So this director physically calls me, which is the respectful thing to do. Not the person who sent me the email and telling me that I was no longer considered. The person calls me and says, "What's going on? What's happening?" And I told this person about the email. I read the email to him over the phone, verbatim, and he said, "No, we are pursuing with you. I took you out there. We're this far in. We're pursuing. We're moving forward." I said, "Okay, now I've got to reallocate all my time and my resources because remember, I spent months doing this. I pulled back. Then I was restarted again when they called me at the last minute with this offer, and then it was rescinded. Then I had to restart again. At this point, I was just exhausted. So, case in point. So those were 3 red flags. 3 red flags. But I went for it anyway, simply because I figured it will work itself out. And it has.